G'day. So we finally finished our massive copper ingot project, and we are turning 4,800 copper ore into 12,000 copper ingots. This project took us quite a lot longer than what we thought it was going to take, for a few reasons. We may have got a little bit carried away with the building design here, but that's okay because it looks pretty sweet. And the other reason is we have been working on another project at the same time, which is a power plant, because with the amount of buildings that we're doing in these projects, we need a shitload of power. So anyway, we finally got this done, and we're doing 12,000 copper ingots down this bus line into the train station. The belt's stopped at the moment. It's just because the train station's full and our train hasn't picked it up, and the throughput's not a drama. We can fix that, because we didn't want to play with that until we actually start our main storage and distribution area in our main base, which is all the way up here. So at the moment we just have one train running with a temporary crusher setup. So yeah, just go through what it took to get us this stage then. So someone was saying in the previous video they really love nodes, so we'll stick with that and I'll show you the nodes we used. So this is the grasslands again, same area. The impure nodes down here, we used 2 impure nodes, and the normal nodes that we used 7 normal nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These ones coming down the center, we used them. We didn't use this one over here because that's a little bit off the beaten track and down a hole, and there's a bit of a mess around. It would have looked real messy to grab this one because we have a main train line here too as well. These are our nodes, and that's 4,800 ore, copper ore. So using the alternate recipe, the pure recipe, this is what we've done. Takes it and it's almost a 3-to-1 ratio, which is pretty sweet. And obviously you have to add the water to get that in the refineries, which is what we've done. So first of all, I'll show you the water setup that we had to do. You can see this water bus coming along here, back over to the east. It's 11 pipelines of water. This building here has 320 refineries in it, all of them making the pure copper ingots. In the last video where we went over this iron factory, or the Iron Maiden now we call it, we did bring across the waterfall from this water setup. We brought across 3 extra lines we weren't using to make the bus look even, and I knew we'd end up using them for something, which is what we're using them now for the copper. So these 3 lines are coming in here and merging into this pumping station, which underneath this building here is a little lake, and we managed to squeeze 8 water extractors into this building here and pump them up above the train line, which you've just seen a train just go through. We didn't want to mess with the train, so we kind of incorporated this building into it and built a little tunnel. It's got a glass roof in there, so you can see the water bus going across the top. So that's basically our water setup. There's a bunch of extractors in this building here. So we've got 11 full pipelines of water coming across. We had to build this little glass setup over our iron bus. Continue into the main building. Now this water bus just enters in one of the main structural legs of the building, and it gets distributed amongst the whole building. we've decided to, another reason why this took so long is we decided to get a bit fancy with the belts and run them outside the buildings and down the building and down the outside. They then come under here into this extensive belt bus network we set up. Pretty elaborate, but looks pretty sweet. And they run and connect into this main bus which you showed at the start. And all the copper ingots exit the building down this main bus to the train station. See, they just stopped moving because the train's probably pulled up at the station, and that will stop the the belt moving. So anyway, you come down here to show the underside of this because it's pretty elaborate, but we've done that for a reason. All of this is perfectly symmetrical, all these belts. We have a train line which is picking up sulfur for our power station, but I'll go through that probably in another video. So yeah, the underside looks pretty sick. And because we've built it over this natural valley is why we've done it. If you come back out to this other side, you'll see that we kind of built a bridge for that leg, and you can kind of see under the building when you come down this natural valley and see all the belt work underneath it. So yeah, we put a bit of effort into this thing. We haven't really given it a name or a nickname yet, but it kind of looks a little bit like a cathedral or a church or something, but yeah. So anyway, just a quick look at before we go inside. Just a neat little bus coming. I've got 3 miners down there, bringing the copper ore in. So there's 4 lines coming in this side of copper ore and 4 from the other side. They merge here and come into the building. So yeah, we've kind of given it an open structural design. So we alternated the platforms so you can see through the building from any level. It's kind of got like a meshed kind of hollow look to the side of it. But when you look down the front of it, it's kind of like a solid structure. So anyway, yep. Go inside and show the setup. We're using the overflow system in here because it's nice and neat, nice and simple. These lights will be yellow because they're actually they're just full, because we don't have the trains running at 100% yet. But we tested this system out to max and it all works sweet. So the bottom floor, 4 rows of 32. The next floor up is going to be 3 rows of 32. Very similar setup. 3 rows of 32. Again, 3rd floor up, we have 2 rows of 32. And then the final floor is 1 row of 32. So yeah, all this belt work's taken quite some time to put together and make look neat, but it's turned out pretty good. So 10 rows of 32 is 320, and that's what gives us our 12,000 copper ingots per minute. And they're going down, hitting the down this main bus, hitting the train station, and then going up to our main base, which goes up that train line up to our main base, which once we start getting that online, I'll make a video about that, but it's kind of in the process now. It's looking pretty sweet, but probably not ready to do a video on just yet. So at the moment these are filling up, and that train will actually be back not in time for this to back up. With the iron, we did fix the throughput for that. We're actually using 2 train stations now, and a bunch of splitters, and 2 separate trains. So with the animation of the train, when it stops, can't load it or unload, the other train station will take priority. And that's how we solve that issue. So yeah, we put our train station just a little bit elevated off the ground because we knew we were going to have a lot of belt buses going underneath, which we have definitely got. We've got heaps of copper coming in underneath. We've actually got our steel ingot factory up and running now as well, which comes in with the copper train. The copper train picks up the steel as well. That's why all these lines have stopped. And yeah, so we really needed all this space under here for all this. Done a couple extra things to make it look a bit cleaner. And we capped off the iron factory just with a pretty simple top, just so it didn't look so open and incomplete. And we polished off our steel factory, which is this building over here with the radar tower on it. One thing about playing an experimental build, I don't know if it's just experimental, is every time you load a save game, the trees respawn. You can blow them up, cut them down, they just respawn every time. So that's why that tree is stuck in that building still. Yeah, this is our steel factory, 39 foundries in there. It does 2,340 steel per minute. And yeah, it's pretty nice little setup. Made it pretty clean. And because it hangs out over the void, we put kind of like a bus hanging out, attaching to the wall. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Just getting prepped basically for the massive. I think that's an autosave happening. That's why it's frozen for a massive production that's going to happen up in our mega base up on the hill there. So next video I'll go through the power station, which we've been working on to keep everything running. There's 264 fuel generators over there. That's why it's taken us so long to get to this stage. One last thing that we've started doing, actually not really my idea, but just something that's really handy to maybe do, is these new smart splitters. They have the new overflow option here. Super handy because you used to have to set up mergers and splitters and a whole elaborate setup to get some overflow going. But now with this smart splitter, you can just prioritize the main line to get 100% and only ever overflow if the system backs up. And we just chuck it into a crusher. Now I know it's only just raw materials going in there, but over a long period of time, if you have this on every miner setup, you won't lose any efficiency on your miner, and every time it does exceed what it's putting out, the overflow will just get crushed instead of having a miner just stuttering. Yeah, that's basically what we've done for now, especially when we're like in the process of getting everything set up. So this is our sulfur, one of our sulfur pickups train stations. So every time this completely fills, it'll overflow into this crusher, right? And this sulfur is going to make compacted coal for our power plant over there. Yeah, just a little thing that you can do, and it adds up. The tickets add up over a fair old time. You'll be generating coupons. Yeah, sweet. So that's about it then. Catch us later.